You know, the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has moved to peg campaign donation limit at 50 million naira and barred rallies in schools and worship centers. A proviso is that contribution by an individual or entity shall be from 150 days to campaigns, while contribution to aspirants by an individual or an entity shall be from the date notice of election is published to the conclusion of the party primaries. The INEC must do its job.
Yes.
But the politician must play ball, play by the rules.
By the rules, yes. INEC is not just the Electoral Act that is really crucial to the conduct of elections in any given electoral season, but INEC also has guidelines, not necessarily specified in the Electoral Act, to guide the conduct of elections. But politicians always go against the stipulations in the Electoral Act, and that's why you see litigations all over the place. More than 600 cases still in court as we speak. All of the 18 presidential candidates have cases against them in court as we speak. Not to talk of primaries that were supposedly decided months ago. Up till now, they are in court because politicians will not play by the rules. And if I come to the conclusion that you won because you didn't play by the rules, because you cheated me, then I will approach the courts.
Yeah.
When people say, why are the courts deciding for the people? Why are the courts? It's because the politician,
business, yeah?
The politician will not follow the rule. And if you fail to follow the rule, then the person who feels wronged has somewhere else to go. And that is the courts. So matters that they should decide on their own is the courts that are deciding such matters for them. So it's not the fault of the court that they have become so preeminent at this time. It is the bad behavior that we have come to identify with politicians that lends a lot more weight to the courts.
Yeah. Bola, you know, it said that corruption happens because there is impunity. Impunity happens because of the big boys, in this case, big politicians. So the court must always, as he said, come to the rescue like a Daniel, come to judgment.
Yes, the court must. Look at what is happening in Osho. What concerns PDP in how Oyetola was nominated? I don't know. They went to court to say that he was not properly nominated.
After their man has been elected.
You understand me? Not only that, for the last election they did, they went to court. Okay? The High Court said, what type of case? The court threw out the case.
Yeah.
They went to Court of Appeal. The appeal court now said, you look at this. Okay, your client said you should come here. Do you think this is right? At the end of the day, say, are you withdrawing or you are not withdrawing? And the implication of that to the lawyer that came for that case is that it may not be considered for SAN if it should apply. If they throw out that case.
Wow.
What they did was, what he just did, he said, please, sorry, he withdrew the case. And the court eventually threw out the case. But what I'm now saying is that, you see, I'm sorry to say, let me use a word. If a prophet of God come to this world, to Nigeria to organize the election, he will fail.
But INEC will not take him. Let's go there. INEC has said it should not exceed 50 million naira. That's the rule. But will the politician play by the rule?
They won't play by the rule. Let me tell you, it is the issue that you will see. this is a country driven by cash. And the cash is not ordinary naira. Politicians do all this rubbish with dollars and foreign currencies now. And that is why we're having this peculiar situation.
Politics has been dollarized too.
Dollarized, seriously dollarized. Okay, and heavy cash. That is why we're having the problem of lack of enough foreign exchange in the country. It's part of it. Though naturally, we are not, exporting things that would really drive money into the country. Yeah. But what about, our people that are in diaspora? What about the money they are sending? All this money, immediately they get to the system, you can't find them. But what I'm not saying is this, as St. Jones, politicians are known for who they are. Fine. INEC is saying 50 million. How much is 50 million? When somebody, a governor will come out and say, oh, he's donating 1 billion. Somebody will say, he's donating 500 billion. It is when you even see the money that you will say you want to trace and you want to go and arrest. The only thing that INEC can do, and INEC officials have been doing that, and security agents have been doing that, is to trace where people who are dishing out money during election are hiding. So that...
But my trouble is, you hardly punish when you catch a felon.
That is it. That is the only thing, because it's a matter of the big boys.
Let's extend the logic. It also says no campaigns at schools and worship centers.
Yes, because even the law prohibits campaigning based on the basis of religion, for example.
Okay.
So if people are permitted to campaign in their worship places, then it's most probable that they will campaign on the basis of religion, which the law frowns against. We are not to campaign based on religion or ethnicity. But we know, again, that these politicians do not see anything wrong in that. So pastors cannot use their pulpit to campaign for preferred candidates. And then even in the mosque, this should also not happen. They also mentioned police station, and I'm wondering who goes to police station to even campaign in the first place. So INEC, there's nothing wrong in INEC setting its rules, but I think at this stage, INEC should be more concerned about rules that it can enforce.
Yes.
I will be happy to see vote buying banished from our electoral processes, but I also know that it is, at this stage, difficult if not impossible, because politicians have now devised other methods by buying people's conscience ahead of the election day. So it's not a question, oh, on election day they are giving people handouts. Before the election day, they start putting the money in your hands.
Jide, is it difficult to tell the elector, don't part with your voter card?
No, it's not even, you don't have to even part with voter cards to get money. There are people who are given rams, who are given cows, so that the last Ileya, this election in Osun, during Ileya, they gave people cows, they gave people rams, just to buy their conscience. So by the time election day comes, you remember that, oh, this person was good to me, the other candidate didn't care whether I got a ram or not. So you then begin to take a decision as to who to vote for on the basis of what you see as a good turn. You understand? But it's not really a good turn. Somebody has made you cheap. He's bought your conscience. You and I can argue that, well, at this stage, power now resides in the hands of the voter. Yes, but the voter is being bought for that power that he has. So if INEC can do its best to curtail this, I'll be happy. But saying that, oh, the campaign, limiting, pegging campaign funding and all that, as they are trying to do, yes, they are doing it in the U.S. Even in the U.S., people still breach it. So I don't know how in Nigeria this can work, because politicians know that this little money is not enough to even win a senatorial election. you could be spending in excess of 500 million naira.
Yeah, yeah.
It is that bad now. So how do you, it's not every transaction that passes through the banking system. How do you track such payments? If I want to give you money, I will give you cash. Cash is usually difficult to trace. I will give you cash. So these politicians, they are impossible, and because they are impossible, in my view, some of these, let's even start from the primaries. Can we stop them from bribing delegates, for example?